So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor Podcast. We are going to be talking today about how to prioritize your thinking and how to prioritize tasks effectively so that you can get what you want done when you want to get it done. I mean, it's that simple. One of the biggest problems that my clients come to me for is simply this. Henry, I have 15, 16 ideas in my head, and I do not know how to get this all done, nor do I know what to do first, second, and third. So before we dive into this, guys, I do want to share one little thing with you. Today I shouldn't say today. Over the past few days, we have opened enrollment to the Branding on Demand program. The Branding on Demand program is for entrepreneurs, small businesses, whether you're personal brands, coaches, consultants, that need that brand strategy assistance. They need that business growth accountability. They need somebody to help them with creating consistent brand identity online. They need help with sales and marketing funnels, from strategy to actually building them out. This program is a month-to-month program that is going to help you with all of that. And I swear to God, if I had this 6-7 years ago when I was transitioning into the digital space, I would have got to where I wanted to be a hell of a lot faster. So again, this is the Branding on Demand program. There's 3 different levels. If you just want strategy, one-on-one with me, there's a level for that. There's strategy and design, and then there's strategy and design plus funnel design and optimization. So you could pick your level of work, and we go from there. So with that said, guys, let's jump into today's topic. Okay. Oh, and by the way, you can learn more about the Branding on Demand program via the link underneath this podcast. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's asking live here, is Facebook down? Yeah, apparently there is something going on with the Facebook connectivity, and StreamYard has been vocal with that inside of StreamYard. So I have no idea what's going on, but I did not want to cancel today's live stream. So we're just going to continue on YouTube. All right. So, I mean, I could try one more time here to see if I can go live, but I don't think it's happening. No. All right. So let's dive into today's topic. I don't want to waste any more time. So how do you take all of these ideas in your head and prioritize them? Okay. So when I'm taking clients through the Brand Accelerator program, because honestly, guys, this is what's going to help you get to where you want to be faster. One of the workshops that I do with them one-on-one is the prioritization goals exercise. So I break this down into 3 categories. One being revenue, which we do first because I find that to be most important. 2 is awareness. So how are we going to increase visibility? How are we going to market? How are we going to position ourselves? What's our funnel look like? Right? So that's awareness. And then the third is efficiency. How do we streamline things? How do we make the processes and systems inside of your business more autonomous. Okay. So I have a little bit of a strategy that I do with my clients so that they can take those 3 categories and start dumping goals inside of each, and then saying, okay, this is what we need to do first, second, third. Okay. So first things first is you want to list out all the goals that you want to achieve from a revenue standpoint. Okay. So let's say we want to increase sales online by 25%. Okay, great. That's a great revenue goal. Now, how are we going to do that? So chances are we're probably going to have to build out some sort of sales funnel to make that happen. Okay. So we would put under goal, create sales funnel for X product. Okay. Now, the next question I ask the client is, how desirable is that goal for you? 10 being it could wait, 1 being I want it yesterday. So I ask them to put a number next to it. So they'll say, this is a 2 or this is a 1, or I'm not quite sure how to make all this happen. So maybe it's a 5. Right. So I have them prioritize it from 1 to 10. Then I ask them, what's the doability of this project? Like, how doable is it? Do you have the strategy? Do you have the copywriter? Do you have the design team? Do you have the vehicle to create this thing? Right, i.e. ClickFunnels or another company that does, funnel builds, right? They'll say, well, I have you, don't I? I said, yeah, all right. So your doability is low. Like it's not going to take you a lot of energy and expertise to do this because you have somebody like me to do it for you. All right. So put that at a 1. All right. So the desirability is a 2. The doability is a 1. So now what does that total up to? That totals up to a 3. Okay. So that would be considered a short-term goal. Okay. So what I have here is a little timeline. So if your desirability and doability total a 15 or less, that means it's a short-term goal. That means we should get that done in 30 days or less. Anything over 15, now we're looking into a medium-term goal or a long-term goal. Medium-term goal being, 40 to 60 days. Long-term goal being 90 days plus. Okay. So what I do is sit down with the client and literally go line by line up to 10 to define what their revenue goals are. And then we tally up the doability, the desirability. We get our numbers. And right there, the lower the number, that becomes the priority task. All right. So once you do all that math, you're like, oh, okay, sales funnel is a 3. Updating our let's say our merchant services account is a 5. So that's 2 on the priority list. And let's say revenue goals, right? Let's say optimizing checkout process on our website. All right, that's like a 7. All right, cool. Throw that down as priority number 3. Right now, there'll be some work there involved to figure out how to optimize that checkout process. But now we know what our top 3 goals for revenue is. All right. Now, then we go into awareness. We go into our awareness goals. Well, what do we want to do? We want to get more people into our funnels. All right. How do we do that? We need to go on more podcasts. I think if we go on more podcasts, we'll be able to get more attention. Okay, great. What, on a scale from 1 to 10, how desirable is that to you? It's a 1, because all I have to do is start searching for podcasts to go on, or hire somebody to get me on podcasts, and that's that. Okay, great. Put that as a 1. All right, what's the doability? Well, I don't know. Time's a bit of a crunch right now, so I don't know. Maybe it's a 5. Or I have a client that says, well, just tell me how to get on more podcasts. I'll pay the guy to get me on the shows. All right, fine. So that's like a 2. All right, fine. Done. Boom. That totals a 3, or let's say a 6. All right. Well, that's under 15. So that's a short-term goal. Let's hammer that out. All right. So that's goal number 1. All right. And then we just rinse and repeat this process for awareness goals, right? Then we get to efficiency. Okay. Give you an example here. I want to automate my business internally so I don't have to pull all the levers myself. Okay, great. So you may want to prioritize bringing in a VA or a project management team, right? So you hire a project manager. Okay, great. Well, that's step 1, but what do you do before that? Well, we need to create our SOPs. All right. Well, we got to get on that. So standard operating procedures, that goes up. All right. What's the desirability to do that? Well, if we don't do this, then nothing else is going to work. So desirability to get that done is pretty high. All right. So let's throw it down as a 1 or a 2. All right. 2. All right. Now we could bring in a project manager, because now they'll be able to execute on those SOPs. And now you've just replaced yourself. Okay. You don't have to do that work anymore. Or you find somebody like I use, and they'll help you build out the SOPs, or they'll build them out for you and execute on them for you. Oh, that sounds even sweeter. All right. Well, then that means the desirability should shoot to a 1 on that one. And then the doability is maybe you just have to outsource a company like this. So it may take some time. All right. So it's a 3 or 4. It may take an hour or 2 or 3 to do some research online, find the right company, interview, whatever. Bam. Maybe you need a project management software like Monday.com or Basecamp or Asana. Or you choose your Trello as another one. All right. Desirability to get that done. Scale from 1 to 10. 10 being a total pain in the ass. 1 being I want it done immediately. What's the doability of that? Well, I just have to sign up for an account. That's easy. I'll put that down as a 2. Done. So that's how I help prioritize tasks, not only for myself. I use this exercise for myself, but I bring every single client that I work with through this exercise, because it gives them one, accountability, because they wouldn't do this on their own. Let's just face it. They just wouldn't. I don't know anybody that wants to sit down and create a to-do list by themselves. But when they have somebody like me on their ass, they're like, all right, I better get this done. Right? That's number 1. But number 2, I see things that they don't see because they don't know. They don't do this for a living. So they know nothing about Monday.com. They know nothing about ClickFunnels. They know nothing about project management. They know nothing about SOPs. They know nothing about podcast agencies. So I'm helping them define their goals and then prioritizing those goals so that A, we can build it out, or B, they could go find another vendor to do it or do some of the stuff themselves to get the ball rolling. Who knows? So this is how you prioritize tasks effectively. There's 1,000 different ways to skin this cat, but this one works really, really well, right? And then this will also help you to know what to build in the future. I'll give you a quick example. Just brought on literally 5 minutes before this live stream and podcast. I got off the phone with a brand assessment client and moved him into the brand accelerator program because A, he wants to get this done within the next 60 days, but 2, he wants a process to run through. And he knows I do this for a living. So I told him, I know what you're trying to do. I have some ideas, but before we go building funnels and logos and websites, I need to do this deep discovery with you. Then we can prioritize. We'll go through the prioritization exercise. Then we can prioritize what we need to build, then build it. See, everybody wants to start building. It's like trying to put a Lego together, starting from the last page. It's never gonna happen. Reason why I say this is I just all of a sudden got into Legos. My son, we've gotten the little ones, 100 pieces, this and that. And I just started to enjoy building those things for him. And then next thing you know, I'm over here building them out for myself, buying Legos for myself. And the funny thing is I was listening to a podcast that were talking about Legos. I'm going off track here, but they were talking about Legos, and Legos had their best year ever, I think, in their history last year because they stopped marketing to children and they started marketing, get this, to everyone. And what happened was older people started to buy Legos, especially during the pandemic, gave them something to do, killed a few hours. But they did record numbers. And I didn't know this, but Lego is a privately owned company. It's crazy. Out of the Netherlands? I think the Netherlands. Crazy, right? So that's a anomaly where you start to market to everybody and blow your profits through the roof. But I know I totally went off tangent there. But the point is, you cannot build a Lego backwards. You have to start from page 1. And that's what we're doing when we go through the strategy part of branding. So then we could prioritize what needs to be done first, second, and third and focus in on those, because that's going to bring in the most revenue. That's going to give you the most awareness, and that's going to create the most efficiency. Bingo. So if you need help with this, guys, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on my website, uniquedesignswithaz.net. And I actually go over this in somewhat detail in my masterclass, which I'll also give you a link to down in the description. I highly recommend you check that out. That's going to show you what the top 5% of entrepreneurs are doing to scale their expertise well past the 7-figure mark. And this is the strategies that I've been using, which I'm going to share, and some of the big mistakes I've made in the past, which prevented me to get to that 7-figure mark sooner. So there you have it, guys. How to prioritize tasks effectively. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at @TheBrandDR or YouTube. Just drop a question in the comments and I'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't subscribed yet to this show, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to drop a review, please do that. That is the fuel that keeps this show running. And so I hope you got some value out of today's conversation, because without prioritizing your tasks, you get into that hamster wheel, you get into that holding pattern, and nothing gets done. Next thing you know, you're in 6 months, you're in a year, and you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. So once you prioritize your goals, you get after it. You either hunker down and get it done yourself, or you hire somebody to help you do it. And that's the bottom line. So have an amazing day, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one real soon.